Minister, I'm sorry I was delayed. I wasn't expecting this session to start so early. But just on the maternity leave, I think there are two issues. One, if you go back to work, you get the if you don't go back to work but you're available for work, you get the COVID payment. But the second one is the possibility of extended maternity leave being introduced. Now, I understand that would take legislation. You might tell me if not. And the argument in favour of it is that where you've got a new baby, there is no childcare available at the moment. And in a lot of cases, grandparents cannot look after the children because they're over the age and they're not meant to be in all this social interaction and social isolation and so on. And they're more than the distance apart. In other words, they're more than 5k or they're more than 50k apart. So the question I have is, have you considered extending maternity leave as well as, of course, making people who are on maternity leave available for COVID? The second one is, I don't understand the anomaly that you've just outlined, where you can get the temporary wage subsidy scheme if you're over 66, or your employer can, and therefore you indirectly get it, but you can't get the COVID payment. It just seems to be anomalous. Third one is one I've raised time and time again. Have you given consideration to reintroducing the mortgage interest supplement for people who are going to be unemployed because of COVID? Because talking about the goodwill of banks, I got a big long letter back, or a big long answer back, talking about the goodwill of banks. Sorry, banks do not show an awful lot of goodwill to an awful lot of people. The mortgage interest supplement, where the interest would have been paid during the period of enforced unemployment, would have been a huge safety net for people. And the final one is one that is very, very big along the West Coast, and that is the issue of those who are never employed in February and early March, because they're involved in seasonal tourism and they earn their living normally from either Patrick's Day or from Easter back to the back end of the year, where you're talking about probably as far as Der Schachten and the sauna. And the question is, what's going to be available for them other than job seekers allowance? Will they be, if they can prove that that was their employment pattern, will they be entitlement to this revised COVID payment? Because if they're not, that has a massive disadvantage, and it's going to have a decimating effect on those areas such as Killarney, such as Connemara, Donegal, Mayo, etc.